all kinds of different kinds of recovery here, Kevin. How did you recover from that trip over the Golden Gate Bridge?
Pat, I'm in recovery every day. I still have hallucinations, paranoias, delusions, depressions, and manias. But I have built a support network around me of people that I love and people that love me, who have come from all walks of life, including my family members and other people, to say that when I'm suicidal, which is regular, I chronically live with these thoughts, that I fight them by telling people 4 simple but effective words: I need help now. And when I say that, I've been grateful that people are willing to listen. And if it's the first person I go to says, look, I can't help you, it's too much for me, I go find somebody else willing to hear my pain so that I don't have to burden it all by myself.
Welcome to Rockford.
Lisa, can you tell us one more time what you feel like this event is? Or what you said in the parking lot? Do you remember?
That I feel like
That-
I'm a kid the night before Christmas, or that I'm giving birth again to my 2 girls. I woke up so excited this morning. I swear to God, I was at work and everyone's looking at me like, what's different about you? I'm like, hold on.
You're like dancing.
I got it. I'm like, I
so
gotta
much
move,
energy.
so I gotta, yeah.
High five.
Absolutely.
That's epic. I have now lived 15 years past the day I should have died.
When you see a lot of mental illness being expressed, that's a clue that the culture is sick, not the person.
My name is Kevin Hines, and this is my story.
How important is it to have community support and opportunities that are there, that are strength-based for living with mental illness? So think about the question from individuals who are struggling with mental illness, that there's opportunities within the community from a strength-based perspective.
I think strength-based exercises and perspectives for individuals living with diagnoses of mental illness or going through mental or brain pain are absolutely crucial to the communities, to have in this community. The Kevin and Margaret Hines Foundation works with individuals who present on strength-based exercises, and we find that the people that are given those kinds of presentations find the ability to be more resilient in the face of pain. And so often we find that it's very helpful to have communities that have these kinds of opportunities for individuals in that kind of brain pain and that mental struggle. When I was first diagnosed with bipolar disorder type 1 with psychotic features, which I would be triply diagnosed with over my life experience by 3 different very, very smart doctors, and my family members asked me point blank, some of them, uncles, aunts, what's wrong with you? Why are you having such a hard time? Why are you always crying? Why are you so sensitive? Things like that. And when they did this, it affected my ability and my viewpoint of myself, my perspective. But when someone told me what I was doing right, when someone said that I was a good artist, a good writer, when someone told me I was prolific in sport and that I could succeed in those things, and that I had a future living with the diagnosis that wasn't so glum or dim or narrow, when someone told me I could do anything, be anyone, and achieve my goals, even at being the 98th percentile of such that do so, it gave me a fuel, a fire. It taught me that I wasn't alone in this battle of my diagnosis, which, by the way, bipolar disorder, at the time of my diagnosis, 27.5 million other Americans live with the disease. My biological parents, in fact, both had been diagnosed in their day with manic depression, as I'm adopted the very same diagnosis as myself, predisposed twice. And so when strength-based activities are being done, and you're teaching individuals who are going through that pain that they matter, that they hold value, that they are worthy, and that they can be productive members of society and not just throwaways, you're teaching them that they can defeat any of the pain that they face.
The question was, what do you feel is the most effective form of treatment that you've seen in your own personal recovery?
So it's not one. There's no one treatment that's going to solve this crisis or going to solve someone's problems with their mental health. I live with this diagnosis every day. As I said, as you heard in the video, I have hallucinations. I hear voices that no one else can hear. I have paranoid delusions that are very vivid, very terrifying. In all of that, a multitude of therapies helps me stay stable, and I'll go through the majority of the ones I can speak upon. I get good sleep most nights, so basically 5 out of 7 nights a week I maintain a good sleep pattern, 7 to 8 hours a night. That benefits my brain. It helps me function at my highest capacity. If and when I don't get enough sleep, I cannot function at a gathering like this at all, and I'll have to cancel. So that's very important. Another functionality that I utilize is exercise. Because I am grateful to be physically capable, I exercise 23 minutes a day, twice a day. 23 minutes of rigorous exercise with very few breaks leads to 12 hours of better mood. I live with a mood disorder. This is very important for me to make a part of my life twice a day, once in the morning, once before 5 p.m., so it doesn't hinder my sleep pattern. I educate myself as to the diagnosis of bipolar disorder on a regular basis, which means that I read every book I can that comes out with new findings of bipolar disorder. I get a Google alert on the diagnosis and the multitude of diagnoses that fall within bipolar disorder's purview. I constantly am referring back to the book Bipolar for Dummies, which is my personal favorite because it's by two friends of mine, but it's a book that was my manual for so long. I give the book, Loving Someone with Bipolar Disorder, to people who love me or are trying to, because I want them to know how I'm dealing with this disease and how they can too, as someone outside looking in. What can they do to benefit my issues, and what can they do to empathize with my pain when they don't comprehend or understand what I'm actually going through. And so doing these things and about 5-6 more steps every day helps me stabilize, and those steps are readily available and free to the public. They're on my website under our resources section. And it's called The Art of Wellness. There's a video platform on the YouTube channel that are 3 to 5 minute increments breaking down those 10 steps, which has a mental health emergency plan at the end. And Nami, you know a lot about that, but I'll tell you that a lot of people do not where I travel around the world. They don't know about planning a regimen that stabilizes you mentally, and that regimen and routine are some of the greatest competing factors to mental pain. And so I learned this a long time ago. I learned that in my third psych ward stay, if I focused on my routine and my regimen, which I've fallen off of many, many times, and gone back into eating poorly, gone back into not exercising, gone back into not sleeping well, all those times back into a psychiatric unit, right? So what helps me is following that routine to a T, or to the best of my ability, within a 2-3 hour window, and making sure that I'm completing that routine so I can succeed in life, life skill success, not monetarily, by the way. So I can be in front of you and hopefully impart some words of wisdom when we leave these doors at the end of this session. Hope in the darkest of their hours, and if they can find hope, they can find purpose. And if they can find purpose, they can stay here. I think the strength-based aspect you spoke of earlier is so crucial, because resilience is built on things like gratitude. And two of the most protective factors from suicide are gratitude in the face of pain and resilience from struggle. And those two things are mirrored by how good your routine or regimen is in that development of a routine regimen to better your mental well-being or your physical well-being. The three things that saved my life in these routines are faith, family, and friends. And I have faith in God. I have faith in a higher power. And thank you very much. That's my prerogative. If you don't, that's your opinion, and you're welcome to that. But I have faith also in the human condition. And I have faith in our ability to change other people's lives. I have faith in our ability to tell stories that help the neuroplasticity of the brain have these sticky memories that have an affect that lasts longer than today. And I think that if we can have faith in ourselves, the human condition, and family and friends that you maybe pick and choose. You don't get to pick your friends. You don't get to pick. My father always used to say, Kevin, you don't get to pick your family. You get to pick your nose and your friends. So what I did in my life with the people that weren't helpful in my strength-based building was I picked people around me that were not toxic for me. that were beneficial to me and that could help save me in my time of dire need. And so for me, that faith, family, and friends building network has allowed me to survive as long as I have with chronic thoughts of suicide. If we can help each other build those networks, we can keep a lot more people here. So thank you.